Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond. Broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
Back at you in Gloves Off. I'm Paul Buitron, and I have a great guest, Texas State Representative Richard Raymond. How we doing? You doing good, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Just gonna enjoy the 4th of July, and then get back at it on Wednesday in the House of Representatives, trying to make sure we finalize that property tax relief bill, which I'm one of the 5 joint authors. There are 5 state reps that are authoring the bill. I'm one of them. So Laredo's got a seat at that table. But we go in Wednesday, and hopefully we'll get it figured out pretty soon.
Absolutely. Talking about bills, we've been working on one for several years, and thanks to you and thanks to everybody else, all the other senators and representatives that voted for this, and everybody that worked, the activists that were there, those that lobbied, the different groups. There's too many people, not to mention one without hurting feelings, but there's so many people that work for this that I think it's going to change the direction. And who better than you to explain it? What the bill is?
It's again, it's an idea that came up during the pandemic when we were doing these Zooms. Before the pandemic, I think very few people did Zooms, but then we all found out what the word Zoom meant. And you, as you know, we didn't stop, and you coordinated, and I joined you, and we had a lot of discussions, and finally came up with a good idea that maybe we could take this to the local city councils and have them step up in a meaningful way. And so I wrote up the bill. We passed it in the House 2 years ago. It didn't quite make it in the Senate. And so this time, of course, I'm a Democrat, but then I reached out. We got David Cook. He's a state representative Republican from Fort Worth. He's very interested in family law issues. So, I told him, you introduce it, I'll join author it, we'll do it together. And we did, and we worked hard at it together. But all of you who, these last couple of years, even before that, when you started this movement, but that led to this bill, House Bill 969, we passed it in the House unanimously this time. We got it to the Senate. We had to push, got it out of committee, got it to the floor. I don't think anybody opposed it, Paul. I mean, I think what happened is you all did a really good job of reaching out to legislators, your network, those who are watching now, or who, you and I have engaged with on several other podcasts or joint, Zoom calls. And we've had a lot of people all over the country, and they took an interest in this, but a lot of Texans, of course, that took an interest in it. And, I'm very proud that we passed it, and the governor signed it, and it becomes law September the 1st. And so now the city councils have to pass ordinances. We know they're going to do it in Laredo because, thanks to you and others, the city of Laredo passed a resolution endorsing the bill. So we already know Laredo's going to do it, but we got to remind them. And I know that Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Austin, that they were all interested in doing it. We need to follow up. And I know you and I were talking the other day, Paul, and I've mentioned that it didn't go into effect till September the 1st, but you made an excellent point, that we can start telling city councils to go ahead, in July and August, to put it on their agenda, pass it, so that it says, the ordinance says, on September 1st, this new ordinance goes into effect. And it's going to change. I think it's going to change the dynamic tremendously. When a parent has a right to go pick up their child because of the court order, because of the divorce decree, and the other parent is holding up that child, now when you call police, they're going to come over. They're going to look at it, and they can give that person a ticket. And they give them a ticket up to $500. They go to municipal court, and they got to pay it. And those who had bad excuses, those bad excuses don't work anymore. And for people that are watching this, they need to know, you and I continued to work with the district attorneys. And, I said, hey, if somebody gets 2 or 3 of these tickets, are you going to be more inclined if they do it again to go have them arrested? And they said, yes, absolutely. Because then they see a pattern, and they have been cited violations by law enforcement, enforced by municipal court. And now it's telling the DA, this is a serial repeater, somebody who continues to deny the child the right to be with the other parent, to deny the other parent the right to be with that child. And so the DA, if they see one or two of those tickets, then the next time they're going to call that person, that parent, say, you better comply with the court order, or I'm going to have to arrest you and indict you, which is the existing laws, the criminal law that it is on the books already, but that they have been reluctant or very careful, cautious about how they go forward with it. This is going to be kind of a stair step, Paul, kind of a stair step to getting us to the right place. And I believe that we're going to see, but I believe it's going to happen. They get one or two of those tickets, they're not going to want to pay the fine anymore. And hey, then they will comply with the divorce decree, with the court order. Now, again, very important, Paul, if they have a legitimate reason why they don't want to let that child go, they'll be able to show that and they'll be able to prove it. But right now, as you know, the process is like, oh, you got to take it to district court. You got to get a lawyer. You got to have a hearing. You got to wait 3 or 4 months. They hide the ball on you. This law, House Bill 969, and getting the city ordinances passed now, which is provided by this law, I think it's going to change the dynamic tremendously. And I, as my friend and my constituent, I'm very proud that this idea came out of Laredo, and that it's going to statewide. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't doubt that this goes nationwide.
I hope so. And when you look at the whole thing, I think it's going, like you said, it's going to change the dynamics, but it's also going to stop all those crying wolves that say, I'm not going to let them go because of this. If there is a problem, it's going to come out forth and you can tackle the problem. Because believe me, parents, there's bad people everywhere. And you have some bad parents out there that shouldn't be with a child. And if something nefarious is going on, we stop it right there. We have a chance to go forward and tackle that matter.
Exactly.
Now, before all this, just to give a little bit of history, a lot of DAs would say, bring me 7 incident reports. No, I want an offense report. No, this and that. Now give me 5 consecutive. Give me 3 consecutive. It's very hard to pinpoint because alienation has a huge spectrum.
Right.
You might be fine and dandy during the weekends, but then all of a sudden the holiday comes and they won't allow you to see them because they're going to be spending it with their family.
Right.
So the summer comes, they won't let you see it. You're into trouble, and all of a sudden now there's no trouble. So you have people out there that are fighting to get their time back, and the child's already 17, going on 18 years old. They're never going to get their child back.
Right.
And believe it's time lost. And it's lost for the child. And it's like we've been talking before in the back, everybody, and this is not a gender issue. Okay. It attacks both male and female moms and dads that are not allowed to see kids. But correct. The average person that it's effective are really fathers. And the culture of the alienation, as I was being explained the other day by a friend of ours, Dr. Dieter, was that it's cross-cultural. A lot of people have it. Family does it and everything else. So we have to stop it in one form or another. And I think this bill is in a keynote of starting it. Why?
I agree.
Because you might have a person that's a narcissist that starts off not allowing you to see your child, and then it's enforced by the police, like they can do whatever they want. So they're going to enhance them from doing something. Then if you go to court, most judges are going to say, too bad. And then they're going to be empowered more. So this is something that fuels parental alienation. So we have to stop it.
Absolutely. I think you're right on about that. And again, it's going to take a little while for people to know this law is on the books. And once they start passing those ordinances, it's going to take a little while for those parents that are not complying with the court order to realize what's going on. But you know what? I think word of mouth has always worked very, very well in our society. And, there's a good movie out there, and it está pegando, and people like it. I mean, more people go because of word of mouth than anything else, because they hear about it. Well,
Absolutely.
in this sense, I think that same thing's going to happen. Once they start getting those tickets and pay up to $500. I think the word's going to get out, and I think it's going to just change it in a very, very real way. And like your point about, one parent trying to hide the ball on the other parent because it's a holiday or whatever. The rules are the rules. The agreement. Let me also say, whenever you have one of those court orders, you have those divorce decrees. Both sides have agreed to that. So both parents have agreed this is when the other parent can see the child. So you've already agreed to it. It's not like they're changing the rules on you. You agreed to it, you signed it. And now this law is going to make sure that you live up to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, thank you. Thank everybody. Thank Senator Cooks. Thank everybody that was involved in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody, all the groups that were involved, all the people that went up there and testified. Thank you all for passing this law. It's this is something that it starts from an incident and it just goes forward, and
yes.
The main incident that occurred was when that one incident that I was not able to see my kids back in 2020, as you well know, and the police came out. He got very belligerent, and he went for his gun. And I don't want something like that to happen to somebody else.
Right.
And because some people might not be able or do not know how to control that type of attitude, and that's what we do. As you know that fact.
Right. Right.
Because of that training, I was able to
de-escalate
it. Somebody else would have been so lucky. So we don't want that attitude to happen.
That is another very, very good point, Paul. This law is going to be effective, but it will de-escalate the situation, and it will lead to a more peaceful, civil sort of outcome where justice does prevail, and you didn't turn it into a situation that got worse in that moment, because the officer is going to give them a ticket, a citation. They're not going to arrest them. They're not going to be yelling, whatever. That's not going to happen. It's going to be, they're going to assume, they're going to see the situation, and if they're in the wrong, they're going to give them a ticket. So that's a really good point. It's a good way of doing it without escalating the situation.
Absolutely. And for you all are out there and you all are going through that, just hang in tight. That's all I can say.
Start getting the city council, start House Bill 969, tell them, hey, this passed. We really like for the city council to pass an ordinance. They can pass it now, make it effective September 1st, 2023.
Absolutely. And once more, everybody out there, we're going to leave you with this. You all stay safe, be safe, and happy 4th. And remember what the 4th of July is. It's the independence of freedom, and that's what this is all about.
Absolutely, Paul. Absolutely.
And we will see you soon.
Yes, sir, brother.
And
you take it easy and let me know what's going on. But let me finish this tax bill, and then let's do a good long one on the tax bill, and hopefully be bringing a lot of good news to all the viewers. And this would be statewide, so it's not just obviously very important to me for Laredo, but it'll be statewide, just like the law that we just passed here. It'll be statewide on the property tax relief. So we can get into that. Let's finish it up. I hope we'll finish it up soon, and then we can do another one, Paul.
All right. You be safe.
All right, brother.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Happy 4th. Take care.
Happy 4th. Have you ever wondered about what happens in a martial arts studio? Well, you start right away by setting goals, building determination, gaining focus, building skills, all while becoming more fit, gaining confidence, and learning self-defense. Buitron Academy is a school where attitude meets aptitude. So give us a call at 956-401-4868.